Rhil, man, some things need no introduction. I done seen a couple clips, so let's just get straight to it because I just have to see it for myself, the whole interview, and break it down as only I can. Because people be missing stuff that I don't.
Vice President, for your time
I'm
today.
glad to be with you. Thank you.
We were just talking about the campaign trail yesterday.
Yes.
And these key Rust Belt battlegrounds, as they call them, talking with undecided voters.
Yes.
We're reaching out that olive branch to these voters. You want to bring them on board. For them, for so many voters, we know that a huge issue for them is the economy.
Right.
It's the cost of living. I've been on the campaign trail. I hear that in the field again and again. You look at some of the numbers on this, and our new NBC News poll shows that more voters think that the Biden administration policies have hurt them rather than help them. And I wonder, are the last 4 years an obstacle to you in this race?
I wish I had a mixed drink or some liquor or something before I could take a shot anytime that she says Donald Trump. I have a feeling it's coming. She's not going to answer the question. That was a question that's not even really a question because the answer is yes. You know what I mean? So let's see.
Here's how I look at it. First of all,
it's a problem. You should look at it as y'all just effed up the entire economy and people who hate you for it.
Let me be very clear. Mine will not be a continuation of the Biden administration. I bring my own experiences, my own ideas to it, and it has informed a number of my areas of focus, most of which are, on, to your point, lowering costs. I have been traveling the country. I am very clear. Cost of groceries still too high. The voters know it. I know it. So part of my plan includes what we need to do to bring down the price of groceries, including the work I will do dealing with price gouging, something I dealt with when I was Attorney General, something I will deal with going forward. Cost of housing. You know, I'm speaking with people of every background in every area of the country, of every age. And, you know, the idea of the American dream was something that previous generations could count on, not as much anymore. Bringing down the cost of housing by doing what I have done in my career that perhaps is a different approach, which is
locking people up for truancy. That'll bring down the cost of housing when they get evicted because they can't pay rent because they're in jail because their kids was late to school.
Really actively working with the private sector, for example, home builders, to create incentives for them to build millions of new homes in housing units so we can bring down the cost, including what I will do to give people a $25,000 down payment assistance if they are a first-time home buyer. So these are examples. The example is what I'm going to do to expand the child tax.
You feel uncomfortable talking this long to a simple yes or no question. But whatever.
Credit, because listen, young parents in particular, they need help. They have a natural desire to parent their children well, but not always the resources. $6,000 extra during the first year of their child's life can help them buy.
You make the earrings. Maybe it's some different ones, because those look even more like they maybe they was listening to my videos to where like, yo, women don't wear the same earrings, so we know that y'all onto something. So they got a different pair of transmitters, but they look different.
A crib or a car seat or clothes, the things that are so crucial to that phase of their child's development. So my plans and my policies are really directed at exactly your point, doing what we must do to bring down the cost of living, but also to help people not just get by, but get ahead. And I'm proud to report to you that economists from Nobel laureates to Goldman Sachs have...
Oh, my goodness. You had to go and repeat yourself. Here you go. Well, she already did. You should, but you had to go. But here's the problem with all this. This isn't even a bad answer from her, to be honest. But I'm going to tell you what it is, what makes it a bad answer. It's the thing that makes her a bad candidate. It's that she asked you, is the last 4 years a problem? So we don't even really too much particularly care about your plans for the future if you can't talk about your plan from the past that messed up everything. Like, where did you go wrong to get us here? Then we could talk about how to fix it with you. Where'd you go wrong at? It would not be a continuation of the Biden. A continuation of what? So you're trying to word salad to try to get away from Joe Biden, but you can't.
Reviewed my economic.
But at least y'all have taken notes to where you can't stick with him. But you're trying to get away, but you're not going fast enough. You understand what I'm saying?
Economic plan versus Donald Trump's.
Oh,
and
shot.
in
Take
comparison, have found that my plans will strengthen Americans' economy.
Well, we knew it was coming because she said the Goldman Sachs thing.
His plans will weaken America's economy.
That's a lie. How come y'all haven't done it right now? Where are these Goldman Sachs people? Where have they been the last 4 years?
How do you think that's not landing with voters? Because in the numbers, it's the opposite.
It's not.
Former President Trump leads you on this issue.
She's a narcissist. I swear y'all talk all this stuff about narcissists. She's just unaware. She just doesn't get it.
Well, when I'm out, this is why I'm going out to
See, I'm. She believes in herself. She's a narcissist.
Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and
Michigan. It's the last one. What you mean? The blue belt that you're even losing at the blue belt?
and
Michigan,
Yeah, you couldn't even tell her. She didn't even know where she was campaigning at. It's Michigan. You're gonna lose in the blue places. That's what you don't get.
Excuse me, just got in late this morning, actually. But going to 3 states yesterday, and I'm going to continue being on the road. I have to earn the vote. And it means sharing with folks my plan, but also offering them what objective analysts have shown to be the contrast between me and Donald Trump. My plans are focused on working people, the middle class, and what we must do to strengthen hardworking people to be able to do what they dream and aspire to be able to do. His plans are about giving tax cuts, massive tax cuts, to billionaires and big corporations. His so-called plan for the economy, economists have estimated, will exacerbate inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year. So there's a
You're a liar. They're liars.
huge difference between him
We're already at one, right? Since the middle of last year.
and I.
Let me ask you about something that you said when you were running for president the last time around, back in 2019. At the time, you said that the elephant in the room was whether the country was ready for a woman and a woman of color to be president. So let me ask you, as you sit here today, do you think the country is ready now for a woman and a woman of color to be president?
Absolutely.
Not you. They're ready for one, but you. We'll get to that later. They're ready for one, but they're not ready for you. They don't want you. They don't like you.
Absolutely. And I am saying that in terms of every walk of life of our country. You know, I think...
No, sounds like word salad. Sounds like you just said a sentence that doesn't even add up to nothing. Answer the question.
Part of what is important in this election is really not only turning the page, but closing the page and the chapter on an era that suggests that
Closing the page. Not only turning the page, but closing the page. Yo, you are the word salad. My God. We're not only going to turn the page, y'all. We're going to close the page.
Americans are divided. What I know from personal experience, from lived experience, and from my travels, even most recently, the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. And what the American people want in their president is a president for all Americans, which is the type and kind of president I pledge to be. This is my life's work. As you know, I started as a prosecutor. I never asked a victim of crime, a witness.
Were they a Republican or a Democrat? I only asked them, were they okay?
Witness to crime, are you a Republican or Democrat? The only thing I ever ask them is, are you okay? And
oh my goodness, why is she like this? Why can't we finish her bars for her, yo? Oh, go away. Go away like Hillary Clinton. You already done the black church thing. We ain't seen her in a black church since 2016. She went away. We ain't seen her since the Al Smith dinner, which you missed. Well, we get to that at a later date. So just go away. Just go away. Just go away.
That's what the American people want to know, regardless of their race, regardless of their gender or their age. They want to know that they have a president who sees them and understands.
Yeah, of course she wants to get away from the topic. She doesn't want to discuss it because she can't. But that's neither here nor there.
Understands their needs and focuses on their needs, understanding we.
And then we talk about color and gender and all this stuff online and TikTok and all these other places. Like, imagine supporting someone that can't even support you. Her campaign is so damn liberal that she can't even, let's ignore Candace Owens like they're doing and just act like Kamala is black. Let's just, for the sake of argument, just act like she's black. She can't even say she's black because she's too busy saying, oh, we're for everybody and we're so much alike than separate and all this different stuff. The only thing that's alike about us is that we all are getting overcharged. And it's because of your green bill energy and you and Biden. It's both of you two. So you got black women supporting you, but you're not even supporting black women because you can't even say you are one. But we already know why. But I'm just saying we're pretending right now like you're doing. So I don't get you. We're so much separate. You don't talk. Like I said, she can't even discuss race. She can't even discuss it because she doesn't even know her own heritage. But Candace knows it. Go see Candace about it.
All deserve to have a president who is focused on solutions and not just fanning the flames of division and hate.
You've been reluctant to lean into, to talk about the historic nature of your candidacy on the campaign trail. Why is that?
Well, I'm clearly a woman. I don't need to point.
That's not what we're even talking about. Y'all see that? I want black women to pay attention to that right there. What she just did right here. Because I'm pretty sure that's not what this white girl is talking about. And y'all know it. Y'all would answer the question a different way. But this lady right here, just go see Candace Owens about it. She'll tell you. She'll tell you all about it.
That out to anyone. The point that most people really care about is, can you do the job? And do you have a plan to actually focus on them?
I hear you on that.
That is why I spend the majority of my time
listening. See? Y'all hear that? She said, I hear you on that. She's trying to stop her from word salad and make her be black. But she not. Never mind. Just go see Candace. She'll tell you.
And then addressing the concerns, the challenges, the dreams, the ambitions, and the aspirations of the American people. They deserve to have a president who's focused on them, as opposed to a Donald Trump who's constantly focused on himself. I think that's part of why people are exhausted.
You're focused on himself. Why wouldn't he be focused on himself if all you talk about is him? You can't even answer this question without saying what he's focused on. But she just asked you about being a black woman, and now you're talking about Donald Trump being focused on himself. Let's focus on yourself and your history and your family. And why they bringing out everybody and Obama and Eminem and everybody but Donald Harris. You want to know what I want to see? I want to see you, Maya, and your daddy sit down and let's talk to the Harrises about them growing up with their father. You see, you always talk about your mom. Where was your daddy at? Because clearly you so linked to him that you won't even change your last name when you're married. But you claim to grew up with your mama. So I could see if you had some, what's with your last name? Oh, I know. Miss Imhoff. So who do you think you fooling? I don't know, but it's not working.
With Donald Trump and his approach, because it's all about himself and his personal grievances.
It's actually not. And I would have personal grievances too if y'all trumped up 30 charges on me over some paperwork. And now we know what the paperwork was about. See, y'all playing the dangerous game. But anyways, so I would have personal grievances too if y'all had a whole side of the media lying and making up foolishness about me. And then they're boosting up people like you. And then, see, y'all act like, see, that y'all are so silly. They gave the wrong person the mic. That's why they deplatformed him. He already said it. When they started talking about them tax breaks and all this stuff, he was like, yo, yeah, I get them. And so do they. So y'all, they try to act like he's some big problem, but he's only doing the stuff that they all do. They act like he's some type of, he's walking around doing stuff that is not allowed. No, they do it all. They all do it. So now they try to demonize him, but they can't. That's why you're telling, oh, how could you run and you got all these felonies? Because they're not even real felonies. Just like they're not real felonies when you go to court. If you catch a felony, that's why they'll drop it if you plead to a misdemeanor, this or that. These people don't care. They care about money.
Not about the American people, not about how are you going to help families, how are you going to help small businesses, how are you going to strengthen our economy. These are the things I'm focused on. I'm focused on...
No, you're not. If you were focused on that, you'd be able to answer the question how y'all messed it up already. But you focused on talking about Donald Trump not being focused on it. Why don't you stop worrying about what he worried about and worry about why y'all are already messing up? Because it seems like y'all been worried about it. That's why when he said you've been in office for 3 years, you said, and Donald Trump been running for 10 years. You've been so worried about him while you in office, you messing up the office.
Investing in the new...
Donald Trump called and got the bill killed. I would bet $1 billion that I don't even have that sometime throughout this interview, you're going to say, Donald Trump called and got the bill killed. How do I know you're going to say it? I know you're going to say it.
Industries on which America should lead and be a global leader.
I ask because to implement the agenda that you want to implement, you have to win first. You have to win the White House. And right now there is a big gender gap in this race. Fewer men support you right now than they did President Biden. Some of your allies have suggested there's sexism at play. I wonder, do you think there is sexism at play here?
Let me just tell you something. You've come to my events, and you will see there are men and women at those events, whether it be small events or events with 10,000 people. So the experience that I am having is one in which it is clear.
Narcissism, or you don't understand your surroundings. But I will say something about this about her. Even though she comes across goofily, it's like cringy. It's so cringe that it's ridiculous. Goofy. She's like, there's an element of her that is like astutely trained because she's so focused on not offending anyone and trying to make people like her that they effing hate her guts. You know what I mean? It's an actress, but she can't act. It's like a bad actress. So she can't say the dumb idiot crap that the women in Obama online and some of the women on TikTok are saying, because then it would offend. She's at least smart enough. We call her dumb and talk about her, but she's at least smart enough to not say that stupid, almost cuss. Been doing a good job. That Obama said, she's at least smart enough to not say that dumb crap. You know what I'm saying? So she's trained in a way, but it's not the right way. She needed more training.
That regardless of someone's gender, they want to know that their president has a plan to lower cost, that their president has a plan to secure America in the context of our position around the world. They want a president of the United States who honors our military, who understands the importance of America's leadership around international rules and norms. And that is regardless of gender.
So
and that is how I will lead.
Do you not see sexism as a factor in this race at all?
I don't think of it that way. My challenge...
Thank you, because everybody else does for you. So I'm glad you don't, because neither do the people who don't like your butt. But Obama just calls it other reasons and excuses. But the other reasons and excuses is the very first question that she asked you that you weren't really able to answer, that you gave a good answer to. You gave a good answer that wasn't the answer, because she said, have the last 4 years been an obstacle? No, you've already failed. You're falling on your face. So no matter what you say, that first question is going to keep coming back to haunt you. Okay? So you're doing a good job. You're doing even better than Obama did and all the other people who don't know any better to stop trying to antagonize black men into thinking you can make us do whatever you want us to do. So at least you're smart enough to get that part. But it's not working for you either. So that means your whole campaign's going down in flames. The people who support you don't know any better, and you don't know any better either. Y'all are all over the place. So I'm glad you want to be judged by the content of your character. I'm glad that Martin Luther King is coming out now. Because we don't like you. We don't.
The challenge of making sure I can talk with and listen to as many voters as possible and earn their vote. And I will never assume that anyone in our country should elect a leader based on their gender or their race. Instead, that leader needs to earn the vote based on substance and what they will do to address challenges to inspire people to know that their aspirations and their ambitions can and will be achieved through the opportunity to do that.
Some of those.
Thank you. And I want to post that part right there on social media for everybody saying that it's sexism. That, all of that stuff you just said is the reason why people do not like you. We've seen you in action. See, everybody ain't a prisoner of the moment. We go with the people who we done known and going with their reference. We know Joe Brown. We know Judge Joe Brown. We know him for years and years and years. And he knows you. He don't like you. He told us about everything you've done that we would have never known. Like that case that you threw out with the lady that took the millions of dollars from the black entertainers. And all the stuff you did, we knew about the truancy stuff, but we know the intricacies of you. We didn't know about your George Soros dealings. I never talk about your personal life stuff, but a lot of people do. One thing I don't do, I never talk about your personal life stuff. One day I'm going to do a whole video about it because I've never talked about it. So I deserve to at least once good time, but I don't. But there's even that stuff out there about you. So you got that stuff. So we don't like you because of everything we ever have figured out and known about you. We don't like you. Even since y'all want to play the race card and all this stuff, oops, let's not forget that you're talking about two black men. Ooh, guess what? If we were an abusive cheater like her husband is, we would get put on display. We would be the reason why our wife's campaign goes down the drain because they would be talking about her abusive husband that smacked the lady because she was flirting with a dude. And they would talk about him having a baby with a nanny, and it wouldn't just be a joke at the Al Smith dinner, Al Jones dinner, Al Roker dinner. I don't give a damn who the Al is. Al Smith dinner, no disrespect. Whoever the Al is, Al needs to go get Doug and get him some anger management. Seriously, because damn, what's I talking about? Oh yeah, him being abusive, and y'all trying to talk to black men like y'all crazy, and it's not working. So she can try to come be nice and mama everybody all she wants. We don't like you. 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 We don't like anybody that likes you. Obama came trying to campaign for you. He needs to go away. Everybody needs to go away. They try to bring Michelle. I'm glad Michelle is staying away. They said she's coming out. I don't even want to see it because I don't even want her part of y'all's foolishness. Seriously.
Voters that I spoke with at some of the events yesterday, for example, talked about they were there to support you, but also your agenda when it comes to reproductive rights and abortion access. And you have cast this as a matter of literal life and death, as an urgent priority here. If you win, it is entirely possible that Congress will be controlled by Republicans. So what specific concessions would you...
Here, let's stop. Now, I want to talk to black men and women on TikTok. Now, I don't think that it makes any type of sense for y'all to try to tell, man. I don't think, okay, that it makes any type of sense for y'all to be trying to sell the idea that there's some type of gender war if you're also going to have your number one issue be women's reproductive rights. Well, first of all, there's a couple issues with that. Number one, who would you even get pregnant by anyway? If men don't want to lead and men don't want to this and you want to go to the woods with bears, how could that be your number one issue and it be a gender war? It seems like y'all wouldn't be getting pregnant anyway. Right? So let's give worst case scenario here. Let's say, because I just seen, you know what? We don't even worry about that. I'm going to just continue, because I seen a clip where they continue to talk about this. So the issue here is that y'all don't know when to leave men alone. So it's no way that there could be a gender war and a reproductive right issue, because if we hate y'all, you're not going to get pregnant by us anyway. And men don't even want a woman to this and that and be the brother, and black men and all these different things. Y'all shouldn't even be thinking about getting pregnant. How is it going to help the economy? So what y'all need to understand is that it's a money issue. It always has been. It always will be. They care about money. It's an insurance scam for the government. The states don't want to pay for it. Y'all talk all this stuff about traveling. Worst case scenario, if your state is a state that doesn't want to pay for it, then why would you get pregnant by somebody that doesn't have the money to travel and you can go get that? And that's just worst case scenario. If you live in a state that's going to overturn it. Some people's states, for some women, regardless to either way, it's actually not even going to affect you in any way. Because first of all, you wouldn't even get an abortion. And second of all, you're going to be in a state where nothing actually changes. But for the rest of y'all, better travel. Or who you even getting pregnant by? These dudes don't want to lead. These dudes don't want to protect. These dudes don't want to provide. Why are you pregnant? So y'all can't have your cake and eat it too, of a gender war and reproductive rights.
Be willing to make in order to get something done on abortion access as soon as possible?
Well, first of all, look at what has happened since the Dobbs decision came down. A decision that is a direct result of the fact that Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention they would undo the protections of Roe. They did as he intended, and now in 20 states we have Trump abortion bans, which some make no exception for rape or incest, which criminalize healthcare providers.
Is that even true? Hold on, wait a minute. Is that true? I don't even think what she just said is true. First of all, I know there's no such thing as a Trump abortion, man. But I'm just talking about, do they have, we fact checking right now. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. What states? Hold on, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We stop right here. Don't even worry about it. We got it. And how does he have a ban? Don't even worry about it. So, okay, we do got some states. States have banned abortions, okay. So, Alabama, okay, Arkansas, Iowa, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri. It's 14 states. But it's privately insured still in all of the places. So what does that mean? Right. That's what I try to tell y'all. It's an insurance scam. That's what it is. But the thing is, that's a I can't find about the rape or nothing, but I don't believe that part. And I believe that that's a law issue.
State like Texas,
in terms of like criminal law issue, not medical issue.
prison for life for doctors and nurses if they provide reproductive care.
Cap, why would they do that? Aren't you a prosecutor? Who would prosecute them for doing that? Who would send them to jail for that long? What type of jail, what type of criminal system are we part of to do that? What you mean? You act like jail is just somewhere you just go. No, people send you there. So who would do that?
And where we have seen this issue on the ballot, to your point about elections, from red states to blue states, When freedom is on the ballot, the American people vote for freedom, regardless of the party they are registered to vote with. We have seen that. And I know that there are members of the United States Congress who are well aware that their constituents are in favor of the very fundamental principle that a woman should be able to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do.
So is a question of pragmatism then, what concessions would be on the table? Religious exemptions, for example, is that something that you would consider?
I don't think we should be making concessions when we're talking about a fundamental freedom to make decisions about your own body.
To Republicans like, for example, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, who would back something like this on a Democratic agenda if, in fact, Republicans control Congress, would you offer them an olive branch? Or is that off the table? Is that not an option for you?
I'm not going to engage in hypotheticals because we can go on with a variety of scenarios. Let's just start with a fundamental fact. A basic freedom has been taken from the women of America. The freedom to make decisions about their own body. And that cannot be negotiable, which is that we need to put back in the protections of Roe v. Wade. And that is it.
But what if you can't do that? What if you can't get that passed and you want to save lives?
You know what's funny about this? Well, it's not even funny. We've gone so far away from coochie management that people think abortion is now the only decision with your body to make. It's better decisions with your body to make other than that one. That's whatever.
Lives in Florida and in Texas and in Georgia. What do you do?
I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole with you right now.
Why not?
Right now, it's a question that's out there because it's not a guarantee that Democrats will win control of Congress.
Right.
Well, I'm doing everything I can to make sure that we do. On this issue, I think that what is clear to me is whether someone is... I was just with one of the leaders, and I think opinion leaders in the Republican Party, Liz Cheney, who she is, as she has stated publicly and has expressed her
She said it on stage yesterday.
She is pro-life. But she also understands the pain and the tragedy that has happened since Donald Trump allowed Roe v. Wade to be overturned. So that's my point about what is non-negotiable.
Judge. This is where y'all got to stop letting her run her mouth. He didn't allow anything. The states that, listen, people been saying it for a while. The states been wanting this. Those states don't want to pay.
It has to be that we agree that it is so fundamental that we allow women the ability with their doctor, if they choose talking with their faith leader, to be able to make these decisions and not have the government tell her what to do.
On the question of your beliefs, what you believe in, let me ask you this question, very broadly speaking here.
Sure.
Do you believe that transgender Americans should have access to gender-affirming care in this country?
I believe we should follow the law. I mean, I think you're probably pointing to the fact that Donald Trump's campaign has spent tens of millions of dollars.
They're trying to define you on this.
Yes,
I'm asking you to define yourself, though. Just broadly speaking, what is your value? Do you believe they should have that access?
I believe that people, as the law states, even on this issue about federal law, that is a decision that doctors will make in terms of what is medically necessary. I'm not going to put myself in the position of a doctor, but let's...
What? You're not going to put yourself in a position of what? Wait a minute. Hold on. Because do I got to rewind it? Wasn't we just talking about reproductive rights? Weren't you just putting yourself in the position of a doctor to say that women and their doctor, you put yourself in the position of a doctor to talk to some women. What about the doctors in Texas that don't want to talk to women about abortion? In these other places, Kentucky and these other places that don't want to do it. You just put yourself in the position of a doctor when he's talking about reproductive rights. Now you're not going to put yourself in the position of a doctor? Why not? You were just being a doctor. Be a doctor again. Put yourself in the position of a doctor. You were just doing it literally a minute ago. Do it again. Put yourself in the position of a doctor.
Also understand that Donald Trump is running tens of millions of dollars in ads to talk about two cases, to distract from the fact that his policy and plan is also to take away the Affordable Care Act, which provides health care for tens of millions of people in our country, that his plan is to undo the $35
You're lying. What you're doing is deflecting.
a month cap on insulin, that it impacts millions of seniors in our country, that his plan is to do away with the $2,000 cap on prescription medication, the annual cap, that his plan is to get rid of the Department of Education, which would mean getting rid of Head Start.
I don't know why people keep talking about that like that's some type of threat. So what? Kids are graduating at a 4th grade reading level. People saying this like y'all don't hear something. Like, what's the alternative to it? Because kids are dumb as hell. I don't know what's wrong with y'all.
That his plan is to give tax cuts to billionaires and big corporations, and on the backs
They need them so prices can go down. Your plan is to give tax breaks to migrants.
of middle class working people. So let's not get distracted by the issues that, to your point from the introductory point you raised, people want to know that their president has a plan to make their life better. And that includes bringing down the cost of living. It includes dealing with prescription medication costs. It includes addressing the housing crisis and affordable housing crisis in our country. It includes supporting our small businesses, investing in American industries, and strengthening our economy.
I will move on, but I don't know that I heard a clear answer from you on the issue of
On the issue of anything. That's funny that is she the first interviewer that's ever uttered those words to her? Because that should be a staple. People should get a shirt made with that on it when you interviewing her. I don't know if I heard a clear answer from her of anything ever. Unless it's something about Donald Trump, then she has a clear answer.
affirming care. It sounds like what you're saying is there should be something between trans Americans and their doctors. It feels like that's a long way from "we see you and we love you," which was your message to trans Americans in May. What do you want the LGBTQ plus community to know as they're looking for a full-throated backing from you for trans Americans?
I believe that all people should be treated with dignity and respect.
What's that got to do with the law? Dignity and okay, see, you about to piss me off, and I'm about to tell you why. If all people should be treated with dignity and respect, this criminal wouldn't be committing these crimes in which probably involved a lack of dignity and respect, especially if it was a victim of said crimes. Even if it was stolen property, you didn't have any respect for the business you stole it from and no dignity to not steal it. So no matter what you did to land yourself in prison, unless you innocent, and then even then I could probably pinpoint back to the people you hanging around having been a dignity issue. So if you're in prison alone, no matter what the circumstances are, we could point back to your dignity and your lack of thereof of respect for at least authority or people or both. So don't tell me about people deserving dignity and respect when we're talking about prisoners getting changes, being rewarded. It's people who, you want to talk about trans people? What about the trans people who are just had to pay for their surgery or had to live life out here with people in America? They never committed any crimes. They had to go to work and had to be demure and classy and mindful and all that stuff. And now you telling me they took out a long time ago, you could get a degree in jail. And you know what happened? People was like, oh, hell no. I don't think it's right that you could commit a crime and go get a degree. So where is all the trans people that feel that same way here with this? You shouldn't feel it's right that you commit a crime and go get this surgery that you get. And on top of the fact, all of the dudes in there that shooting their moves, acting, just saying that they trained to go get to the women's prison, and you can look it up. It was 5 women that got pregnant after a dude lied and said that he was trans. Maybe he was trans and just got a change of heart and was delivered when he started around all the women. I don't know, but I believe that dudes was lying, shooting a shot to get over to the women. right? Just identifying as to get over to from a men prison to a women prison. If you've been locked up 10 years, got 30 more to go, whatever, no women, least you could do is say, hey, I identify as, and then go over there with some women. If that's possible, a lot of dudes will do that. So now you're trying to tell me you okay with this? No. If you can't get a degree in jail, you shouldn't be able to get a damn sex change in jail. This is crazy.
Period.
Period.
And should not be vilified for who they are.
Well, no.
And should not be bullied for who they are.
We talking about criminals. Don't try to broadly talk about just regular trans people. Okay, we agree, whatever. Okay, live your life. Don't give a damn. Don't care enough to care. But what I'm saying is, we talking about prisoners right now. Stay focused. I don't believe I heard a clear answer from you.
And that is a true statement for me my entire career. And that has not changed.
Part of the case that you're making to undecided voters and to these late deciding voters is not just the case for you, for what you would do. It's the case against former President Trump.
No, that's all she's doing.
We are sitting here 2 weeks away from election night. Last election, the former president came out on election night and declared victory before all the votes were counted. What is your plan if he does that again in 2 weeks?
Well, let me say this. We've got 2 weeks to go. And I'm very much grounded in the present in terms of the task at hand. And we will deal with election night and the days after as they come. And we have the resources and the expertise and the focus on that as well.
So you have teams ready to go? Is that what you're saying? Are you thinking about that as a possibility?
Of course. This is a person, Donald Trump, who tried to undo a free and fair election, who still denies the will of the people, who...
Can we stop saying that free and fair and denying the will of the people is people who think it was rigged? How you going to gaslight those people that it was fair, but it was never a Supreme Court or account or anything? And people were caught cheating. So it's like, why are y'all trying to gaslight people? It's weird.
Decided a violent mob to attack the United States Capitol, and 140
cosplay
enforcement officers were...
It was a good showing.
Attacked. Some were killed.
It was the Republicans. Y'all don't care about them. Y'all don't care about that lady.
This is a serious matter. The American people...
Yeah, y'all still in the election. And then it's proven why those people did that. Like, they should have got their way. If they'd have got their way, the economy would be better.
People are, at this point, 2 weeks out, being...
from a new president, and they can't wait.
Presented with a very, very serious decision.
A goofball or somebody who they've already had in their life.
About what will be the future of our country. And it includes whether we are a country that values a president who's
a goofball and who brought illegals in, who's a criminal, who's a, you know what?
Respects their duty to uphold the Constitution of the United States. Donald Trump has said he would terminate the Constitution of the United States.
Listen, black people, let me talk to y'all about. Wait a minute. Let me talk to my black people for a second. Why do y'all keep caring? Like, y'all know when they wrote that? Y'all act like, let's just hypothetically speak for a second. Let's say they rip up the Constitution, right? You know when they wrote that, right? So now you think, well, you just go back to slavery, would just be owned by people. If there was no Constitution, right? We'd just be owned, huh? Yeah, okay, bet. So wouldn't you want to be around for the laws to be written? Let's just hypothetically speak. Let's say they ripped it up. Wouldn't you want to be part of the process of making laws instead of those laws they made back then with their own little seat? Because y'all talk about which one? Like, what is it? The not the Declaration of Independence, but this the damn y'all know what I'm talking about. The damn what's the name? What am I even talking about? Not the Pledge of Damn Allegiance. What the hell is I even? Yeah, I just had a damn brain fart. But anyways, the third verse of the damn Star Spangled Banner, I'm tripping. when y'all talk about Francis Scott Key, he was actually talking about freeing slaves. And people called him a racist. Do your history on him. So when you talk about, a threat to democracy, you know what a threat to democracy is? Being black in America. So who cares? Come on now.
The American people are being presented with a choice here about whether we want a president who understands that America must stand strong as a leader around the globe, or an individual in Donald Trump who openly admires dictators. My goodness, recent reports that he gave COVID tests to the president of Russia during the height of the pandemic here, when Americans couldn't get their hands on COVID tests.
Says who? How can Americans not give their hands on COVID tests when it was essential workers who was having to get COVID tests every day just to go to work? Shut your lying ass up. If they was going to get COVID tests, they could have got some from the hospital, Sparrow Hospital. They was testing people every day. Even if Americans couldn't get COVID tests, and why would you want somebody to come from another country and not take a COVID test if they was coming around, or to be around somebody from another country during the pandemic? I don't want to be around you if you might have COVID. So hell yeah, I'm going to give you a COVID test. Talking about the American public couldn't get COVID tests. Whose problem is that?
These are the choices before the American people right now.
And you're lying.
The choice before the American people is the choice to choose to turn the page on
and close the page
on the division and the hate, and to bring our country together, knowing
you are the division of the hate. Your whole people are running your campaign are talking about it's only because she's a woman. And then your second highest supporter base is getting blamed as who's the reason why. I'm starting to think I need to see the statistics. I think a lot of these women who run their mouth don't even effing vote. Because how the hell is, you know what I'm saying? How's black men getting blamed for this when they're actually voting in support of you? It's just the people with common sense like me and others that don't believe in nothing you talking about. But that's because you got exposed as a cosplayer. Ain't nobody rocking with that.
The vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. And that we
there you go again, repeating yourself.
Can be optimistic about a new generation of leadership that is focused on what we have yet to achieve, to uplifting the American people.
If you win, it is entirely possible that the federal court cases against the former president will continue on. He is, of course, facing those felony charges.
Which is goofy and ridiculous, but that's why you're not going to win. And when you lose, there should be some charges against you. First of all, for identity theft. Second of all, for plagiarism. Third of all, for photoshopping those women and calling them your grandparents, stealing a black person's identity to say it's your grandma, like people weren't going to figure that one out. Goofy. You thought you was going to be able to Photoshop something and we wasn't going to see it? You goof.
Would you consider, if you win and he's convicted, a pardon for former President Trump?
I'm not going to get into those hypotheticals. I'm focused on the next 14 days.
Your whole campaign is a hypothetical. If I win, and when I get in, if I get in, it's all hypothetical. So what, you're not going to hypothetically talk about this? Let's talk about how y'all hypothetically made up some charges. I think Fonnie Wilson, y'all going to jail hypothetically. He'll answer. Your ass is done for.
Do you believe, is there any part of you that subscribes to the argument that has been made in the past that a pardon could help bring America together, could help unify the country and move on?
Let me tell you what's going to help us move on. I get elected president of the United States.
That's cap. It's gonna be a problem if you really would win. I think people are gonna really revolt if you win, because they're gonna see a bigger issue because y'all not fixing a real problem. I don't even think. Never mind. I'm gonna save this part.
One of the things you've talked about is having a Republican in your cabinet potentially.
Yes.
You've spent a lot of time on the campaign trail with former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, as you referenced. Is she somebody who you would consider putting in the cabinet? Have you talked with her about this topic?
I'll keep you posted.
Okay. On immigration, because this is another issue that's really important to Americans here. Sure. Immigrations and customs enforcement, of course. Back in 2019, you stopped short of calling to abolish ICE, as some Democrats were doing at the time. But you also said...
I'd never called for
correct,
abolishing
you stopped short of that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You said we should critically re-examine it, and you considered starting from scratch. Would you consider, if you're president, starting from scratch with ICE?
Let me tell you what the Customs and Border Patrol agents need, what the immigration system needs. It needs to be fixed. And it needs to be fixed in a number of ways that include bringing forth a bill that conservative members of Congress, along with others, pulled together, that we supported actively, that would put 1,500 more border agents at the border to give those folks who are working around the clock and need support the assistance they need to get their job done. What we would do with that bill, if it were brought forward, is be able to continue to stem the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States, which is ravaging communities around our country. It would give us the more resources to do what we need to do to prosecute transnational criminal organizations, something I have done. But what happened to that bill? Donald Trump got word of it and told his friends in Congress, kill the bill, don't bring it forward. Because Donald
Trump killed the bill. Oh, not Donald Trump killed the bill again, man. She about the middle class kid us too, y'all. Oh, not this again, man. This has already been debunked. Who did he call? I'm tired of this. Like, why don't y'all grill her on this? Stop letting her say this. Can we please stop letting her say this? I hope this lady gives her pushback. Somebody has to give her pushback on this. Why do they keep letting her say this?
Trump would prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem.
Oh, my goodness.
And again,
you are the voice. Oh, my goodness, dog. Why do y'all let her do this?
In this election, there are two very different choices.
Why do y'all let her do this?
One that is focused on solutions.
Why do y'all let her do this?
And the other that is focused on constant grievance.
Why do y'all let her do this? I would have a constant grievance too if the media for 8 years try to lie on me and paint all these negative narratives. They accused them of 200 SAs and 50 felonies and anything bad you could do. They just accuse them of it. Y'all are ridiculous. I would have a personal grievance too. And that's why you only can open your mouth about him and not yourself.
And running on
or your daddy.
Problems with no agenda for fixing them. And in fact, on this issue of immigration, he has been an obstacle to fixing this problem. My proposal includes strengthening what we must do to
really your
ensure that we have an orderly and humane
includes strengthening what we must do. Yeah, because y'all immigrant is the new black. Y'all are trying to get rid of we already peeped the play. Y'all think people stupid. Latino voters are moving away from the Democratic Party, and so are black voters. So y'all brung in new Latinos and new Haitians and black people, and y'all trying to replace y'all votes. But it isn't going to work because y'all don't got no votes.
An immigration system, and that we fix what has been broken for a long time. It has transcended administrations, and it needs to be fixed.
It has not transcended administrations. It started with y'all. Y'all did this. Y'all literally made it okay to be illegal.
You have made it clear that you believe this is a binary choice between you and Donald Trump. Those are the candidates on the ballot.
There's only
of course.
two choices.
Yes. And I know that Joe Biden is not on the ballot. I understand that. But the reason that you are at the top of the ticket is because he dropped out of this race. And so I want to...
Right. Not because of anything you've done. I'm so glad you said that. She's really cooking low key. She's just interviewing, but she's cooking in a way. First of all, you have not done anything. And I mean one single solitary thing in your entire work life to deserve this spot that you're in. And the fact that people are celebrating you being here is really a slap in the face to hard work. And this is why it pisses me off, literally, that y'all keep talking this black woman shit about her. Because y'all turn around in the next breath, in the same breath, and say, black women have to work harder. Black women have to get looked over. Black women have to be twice as smart. This idiot ain't twice as smart as nobody. She ain't worked as hard as nobody. She's been handed this spot. And y'all think this is man, y'all get on my nerves, man. Y'all can't be this dumb. Y'all cannot be this stupid. It's no way y'all are this foolish. It can't be. It's impossible. It's too much. You don't even need common sense. Like, people are leading you right there. Like, you could go look at her history and family tree. Like I said before, don't bring out Obama and Eminem. Bring out Donald Harris. I want to see your sister and your father as adults talking to each other. Why ain't no pictures of your sister and your daddy together? I want to see them too. I want to hear your father. I want to see you and your father together talking to each other with your sister there. Let's see the Harrises. Man, get out of here with this mess.
I ask you, and it was largely because of that debate performance back in June. You defended him in the days before and in the days after as you were campaigning for another 4 years for President Biden. Can you say that you were honest with the American people about what you saw in those moments with President Biden as you were with him again and again, repeatedly in that time?
She's not honest about anything. No, she can't say she was honest with the American public.
Of course.
No.
Joe Biden is an extremely accomplished, experienced, and capable in every way that anyone would want if they're president.
Do y'all hear this idiot? This man literally just dropped out the race because of his cognitive abilities, and she's saying that he's capable. If he was capable, you wouldn't be here.
You never saw anything like what happened at the debate night behind closed doors with him?
It was a bad debate. People have bad debates.
Why was it a bad debate?
That he is absolutely.
But that's the reason why you're here, and he's not running for the top of the ticket.
Yeah, because it's not something that you've done. I want to keep pointing that out. Because y'all want to keep talking about men, hater, men, and black men, and all this stupid stuff. This lady is telling her right to her face, you ain't did nothing to earn this spot. Nothing. You have not earned this spot. You don't even belong here. You don't even belong here. So how dare y'all get mad at somebody not wanting her there when she doesn't even belong?
Well, you'd have to ask him if that's the only reason why.
No, that is the only reason why. You don't belong. Let's ask all the people who could have beat you at the primary. Let's ask Cory Booker and all these other people. Stacey Abrams would have watched you. You talking about people don't like a black woman. I vote for her before you. Honestly, I don't even really know anything about her other than she was part of helping rig the election. Other than that, I don't even really know much about her. But I would like her more than I like you. I'll tell you that much. So, because I know she really got, and we can find out where we can probably talk to her grandma, people she went to high school with, people she went to college with for real. Like, we her mom and them. We can probably talk to her daddy if they still with us. We can probably talk to her parents. Yours, you, your daddy, not so much. So I don't even know Stacey Abrams. She got my vote other than you. I'll tell you that now. If I had to vote for two women and then one of them was you and one of them was anybody on planet Earth, I'm going to give the anybody on planet Earth a try because I know you and you ain't it.
What do you think?
I am running for president of the United States.
And you're going to get smoked at epic proportions. You're probably going to lose by a bigger margin than Mitt Romney, and they're going to blame racism and sexism and classism and every other ism other than you dumb as hellism.
Biden is not. And my presidency will be about.
It's not. Your presidency is not going to exist. These are the last moments we're seeing of you.
Bringing a new generation of leadership to America that is.
You're going away.
Is focused on the work that we need to do to invest in the ambitions and aspirations of the American.
You're lying.
People.
It's a judgment question. That's why I ask. Can the American people trust you in these moments?
Absolutely not. We can't even trust you to say that your grandma is black and then take a picture with a Photoshop lady who died before you was born. We can't trust her. We can't trust her father to not tell people that he's Hindu and Irish.
It's even when it's maybe uncomfortable for Americans to level with Americans in that way. So that's why I ask, and it sounds like what you're saying is you feel like you never saw anything like that from President Biden.
I have worked with Joe Biden, hours and hours and hours over these 4 years.
He's a liar.
Whether it be in the Situation Room or the Oval Office. Joe Biden is the one who was able to bring NATO together during a crisis where, for the first time in 70 years, Europe saw and has seen war. Joe Biden has...
How did he bring it together then? Yo, y'all, listen, man, y'all are some goofies, dog, and y'all are gonna go away.
Done the work that has been about being a leader on what we have done to fix so much of what has been broken in terms of the economy because of Donald Trump's mismanagement.
Oh my goodness, dog. So the economy is messed up because of Donald Trump's mismanagement. This woman has never taken any accountability for anything wrong she's done. Y'all want to talk this men hate women shit and women and all this stuff? Y'all want to be a monolith again? Because if men hate women, y'all have to be a monolith again. Y'all said y'all wasn't a monolith when we tried to get in a relationship. When we want to talk about gender roles and relationships, y'all said y'all not a monolith. So y'all do want to, when it's time to beef and hate each other, y'all want to be a monolith again? Y'all sure? Because if you do want to be a monolith again, then we would have to say that all of y'all, since y'all are a monolith, women, okay, are not accountable for their actions, and they deflect and blame someone else instead of themselves. Since y'all want to be a monolith, that's what y'all are. All of y'all, every last single last one of you. Since we hate women, men hate women, there's got to be some hateable characteristics, right? Oh, I'll tell you what they are. Unaccountability. People hate it, right? And this is what she is. Undamn accountable. So if there was misogynists that hate women and don't want a woman to lead, this would be the main reason why. If there was a misogynist that hated women, I guarantee you one of his reasons why he wouldn't want a woman to lead is because he would feel like they're unaccountable and emotional, right? And she is those. So y'all keep talking this hate women stuff is why she can't get a vote. Y'all are she's proven the misogynist right on why she shouldn't lead. And y'all are proving the misogynist right by not focusing on who she is as a piece of crap and just saying she's a woman. Well, that's not good enough right now because she's a piece of crap woman. She's not a good woman. She's a bad one with a bad husband and a bad record and a bad history and a bad past and a bad economy and a bad teleprompter and bad earrings and a bad history of bad photoshops of bad grandparents who aren't black.
I speak with not only sincerity, but with a real firsthand account of watching him do this work. I have no reluctance in saying that. No, of course I don't.
Madam Vice President, thank you for your time. I appreciate you being with us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
Man, I can't believe this lady is a liar and a cosplayer and a joke, and y'all called her black. Get out of here. Rhil.